Hi there. My name is Corey Gels, and I work at the Center for Career Connections as the Career Exploration Manager. I'm going to talk with you a little bit today about informational interviews. So, my objectives for today is that from this session, you'll better understand what an informational interview is and how it can help you, how to effectively navigate the steps before, during, and after an informational interview, and strategies to find people to interview and reach out to them. So, what is an informational interview? Essentially, it's a conversation with a professional in a career that interests you, and it's designed to help you learn more about their career path, daily work, and industry as a whole. In this conversation, you are leading the conversation and asking the questions. And a lot of people think, well, why would somebody want to talk to me? Many professionals are happy to talk about their career paths and to give advice to students. And please note that you're not requesting a job in this conversation. However, networking is one of the most effective ways to land jobs, so it can definitely be an important part of your job search process. So, before an informational interview, how can you find people to talk to? This can be tricky, especially if you don't know anyone who works in the types of careers that you're interested in. However, there are some resources. Your professors could help. At the Center for Career Connections, we can help. And then I'm going to go through a few options, including LinkedIn, Meetup, and company websites. So let's explore online. So we're going to start with LinkedIn. I want to show you one way to utilize LinkedIn here is to go ahead and search Bellevue College. From there, you can click on Bellevue College, click on alumni, and you'll see the over 50,000 Bellevue College alumni on LinkedIn. These are all people who you have something in common with if you're a Bellevue College student, making it more likely that they'll respond to your request. So let's say you're someone who's interested in accounting, for example. You can use these different filters to narrow your search based on what people do, what they studied, etc. Or you could just kind of go down and see. Maybe you're curious about this person's career. So you could read about what they do, you could look a little bit about their experience, the path they took, etc. And if it's someone you're interested in connecting with, for example, maybe you're interested in working at Amazon one day, you could go ahead and shoot them a connection request and include a little message, and I'll talk more in a little bit about what you can include in your message. But one way to search for people to interview is to look through Bellevue College alumni in this way. Another option, if you know the kind of work you want to do, maybe you even have some companies in mind, maybe you know you want to be a therapist, for example, maybe you're going to kind of look through different organizations in the area. For example, maybe you see Seattle Therapy and Counseling. You go to their website, and maybe you want to look at some of the therapists that work here. These are all just people who work in different jobs, many of whom may be interested in helping you. Will you get a response from everybody? Probably not. Will you get a response from some people? Typically. So this is another way you could contact people, is just searching through Google a little bit more directly. Another one's a little bit more, people might not always have thought of it. LinkedIn's the largest professional network, but maybe you're someone who lives in Seattle or nearby and you're interested in supply chain management and you don't know who to talk to or really where to find those types of people. Maybe you find a meetup group. For example, the Association for Supply Chain Management Seattle. These could definitely be people who work in this field who would be happy to talk to you. You could go ahead and click on them, learn more, and reach out with any questions. You could even message the chapter directly. So I just want to let you know a few of those options and want to talk a little bit more now about what you can do when you are messaging someone. What would you say when you reach out? Well, you could start by introducing yourself, including that you're a student. People often really like helping students. You can explain why you're contacting them and make a clear request. So, for example, this is just one I put together using a little bit of my own information from when I was a student. I said who I am, what I'm studying, clearly said that I'm exploring different career paths, said how I got their name, and that I'm hoping to learn more. Would you be willing to set up a 15 to 20-minute phone call to help me better understand your work and career path? You could ask for that. You could also, if you're not as interested in a full informational interview, just ask a couple questions in the email itself. But typically, if you want to do an informational interview, you would ask for something like that. Putting a clear time bound on it can be helpful in helping people understand that you're going to be respectful of their time. So, during the informational interview, what do you ask? Well, think about what you'd like to know. Here are some ideas though. How did you end up in your current position? What does your day-to-day work look like? What is your favorite part about your job? Least favorite part? What advice do you have for someone interested in this field? And then it's helpful to end with, is there anyone else you recommend I talk to? And then would you be willing to connect us? And this it's not just about the informational interview itself, it's about growing your network and allowing the conversation to be a springboard for future conversations. During the informational interview, it can be helpful to take notes. And please note that it's your job to monitor the timing and make sure you don't go over the time. If you've hit the limit or you're very close to the limit that you promised the person you would stick to, it's okay to note that. Say, I see it's been almost 20 minutes. I want to be respectful of your time. If you want to keep going, let me know. But otherwise, I'd be happy to end it now. You can say something like that. Sometimes people are happy to go longer, but just make sure you're acknowledging the time and being respectful. So let's say the conversation finishes. Go ahead, take the time to record any additional notes or reflections. I usually try to take a little bit of notes during the conversation, but am afterwards able to write down even more. It's really, really important to also send a thank you note within about 24 to 48 hours. I usually just set a reminder on my phone for the next day so I don't forget. And in that thank you note, you're thanking them for their time, their effort. It really helps to also add something specific. This shows that you are paying attention and that you're having a clear takeaway. And then you can consider who you'd like to talk to next. Maybe you want to talk to someone in a different career field or in the same type of field, but maybe a different type of company, maybe private versus public or large versus small or something like that. Or maybe you want really interested in that company, but you want to talk to someone in a different role and see if that might be a good fit for you. So those are just some options to kind of continue on with next steps after the conversation. And that's all for me right now. Go ahead and reach out if you have any additional questions. Thank you.